Hey, what's going on everyone? It's Harry here. I'm back with another video. Today we're going to be looking at the Genaray Torpedo Light. So for those of you who are trying to figure out if you like this light or don't like it, whether to buy it or not buy it, let me give you a rundown as fast as possible. My overall rating of this light is that it's pretty good. It's nothing mind-blowing, but it's certainly nothing that's terrible by any means. During my testing, I did not find anything that was really questionable or that could lead to some not so desirable results, so to speak. I am using the Torpedo Light as my key light currently. I have it pretty off to the side because it produces some shadows that I don't necessarily want to show on camera, so keep that in mind. This light is very much for more dramatic, spotlight effects. The coolest thing about the Torpedo Light is that it has a focusing system on it, so you can focus the beam to about 15 degrees all the way out to 75 degrees. In terms of build quality, most of it is plastic, but it's very high quality plastic. In fact, the term Genaray uses is that it is ABS plastic. The frame that connects to the stand or any type of mounting system you have, that part is all metal. The twist mechanisms are a combination of metal and high quality plastic. So overall construction is really good. It never felt cheap at any times. The barn doors that come with it are really good for sculpting light, and you can get some very interesting effects with using the barn doors properly, and those are metal, by the way. I'd say the only downside to this light is that there is a fan on board because it does get pretty hot even though it is only an LED. If you watch my full review, I'll have more on that later. And the filter system is a bit awkward with how you're supposed to be able to put them in. It isn't the worst thing in the world. It's not a deal breaker for me, but it can lead to some rather just kind of frustrating moments when you're trying to put in a filter and it won't stay, and you're trying to screw the barn door mount back on and it's kind of spinning around. It's not really going back in. That's the only part that was really frustrating. But yes, that's my overview of the Genaray Torpedo Light. Now on to the full review. Something that is really great about this fixture is just how small it is and how much light it produces. It has its own carrying case, has a slot for all the filters, a place to put the power supply, and of course a way to properly put the light in itself. It works really, really great. It is only a soft case, but it's way better than just lugging the thing around with no case. Starting off with some accessories that come with the light, you have 6 different types of filters. 2 of them are for diffusion purposes. One is a light diffusion, the other one's a little bit of a heavier diffusion. You have a warming filter because the Torpedo Light itself is not bicolor, it's only 5600, so which is perfectly fine for me, and I'm currently using it as the key light with just the heavy diffuser in it. For the power, you have a Edison plug to IEC cable that goes into the power adapter, which then goes up to the light and actually turns into a 4-pin mini XLR. I've seen these used before with wireless systems. They're very nice because they lock in and they really have no give at all, and they're not going to just suddenly come out. Like with the SPE light that I reviewed a few weeks ago, the power adapter unfortunately does dangle from the stand, so you will have to either tape that to the stand or use tension rigging with the cable in order to not put a lot of strain on the connector. You can also power this light with a Sony NPF style battery. Particularly the 970 series is what you probably want to use, as it is the highest capacity. This light does get very bright, and it also has a fan on board. More on that part later. The light does come with a D-tap to mini 4-pin XLR adapter. I seem to have lost mine, so that's a bit unfortunate. On the back of the light, you have all the display and the controls for the light. So you have on, off, and you can adjust the intensity up or down. On the display itself, you have your intensity level, your color temperature, as well as if you had a battery in it, it would tell you how much power you have left in the battery. So that's pretty nice. It is a digital readout, so you can see exactly what you're doing. It's not just a turn of the knob. That's really nice. As I said in my overview, the construction of the light is ABS plastic. Very high quality stuff. I really like it. It doesn't feel cheap at all. The barn doors, however, those are metal, as well as the frame that connects to your light stand or to any type of mounting rig you have. That part is metal and is very sturdy. So Construction is really, really good on this light. On the main housing of the light, you'll see a yellow band that will allow you to focus the light. That is the great thing about the torpedo light, is that you can pick and choose how fine you want the spot to be. You can go down to about 15 degrees, or you can go all the way out to about 75 degrees. And a little tip for you, if you take out the main glass and kind of diffuser for the light, if you take that out, which it comes out very, very easily, you can actually get a very, very wide kind of a wash of the light. Now, you can't focus it once you do that, but if you need something that's really wide, you can do that and go even beyond 75 degrees. And at 15 degrees, you're getting about 5,500 lux, and at 75 degrees or beyond, you're getting around 2,500 lux. So it's a pretty bright light. Now, there are some things I don't like about this light, and one of them is the fact that because it is a COB LED, it does actually get pretty hot, especially if you have the intensity all the way up. It gets pretty hot to the touch, and even has a little warning to tell you to not touch or be careful if you touch the main housing of the light, because it does get much warmer than, say, the Genaray SPE light that I have behind me. It has to have a cooling system, and so it has a small fan on board. Now, if you are not going to run the light at 100%, like I have right now, if you're not going to do that, then it's probably okay. But once you have the light at about 100% of intensity for about 5 minutes, I'd say, it's fairly loud. In fact, I'm going to give you a sound test right now. I have a Rode NTG2 mic above me that's just out of frame. And then I have the torpedo light that's probably about, I'd say about 6 to 7 feet away from me, kicked up at a pretty high angle. So I'm going to give you a sound test right now, and to see if you can hear that. You probably want to put headphones on for this. It's not super loud, and especially if you have the light in the opposite direction of where, like, this style of microphone, which is a shotgun mic, is pointed, you will probably be okay. But I do want to mention that it's fairly loud. Like, I can hear it very audibly right now. So if you have talent, your talent probably will be able to hear that. Microphones, that could vary. It depends on how close you're going to have the light to your mic. So that's definitely something to think about. The other thing that I really I don't like about this light is the filter system is great, and I'm glad it's there, but the way that they go in is just, it just doesn't work all that well. Unfortunately, when you put a filter in, not only does it seem to not really fit within the front of the light itself, it could just be really annoying, because you'll sometimes accidentally, like, the filter will fall out before you can screw on the barn doors. Sometimes both the filter and the main diffuser and focusing mechanism will also fall out of the light. The other bad thing is that if you have, say, if you're putting in a color like green or blue or even red, you'll notice that there's a bit of a light leak around the edges, because the grooves don't fit quite right within the rubber seal. And so that was probably the most frustrating thing that I found in my testing with this light, is just kind of having to really focus and take some time to put the filters in as best as I could, but understand that no amount of force or amount of just kind of working with it was going to be able to produce the result that I exactly wanted. So that is something to keep in mind. It is not the worst thing in the world. You can, for the most part, just put a filter in and just quickly screw the barn doors on, and it will be somewhat okay. But it would be great to see something that's a little bit more well thought out implemented with this light. Overall, this light is really good. I think that's all I have to say about it. It's a very nice light. It's about $230 to $240 on B&H Photo. I'll have that linked below in the description. If you liked this video, go ahead and like it, and be sure to subscribe if you want to see more stuff like this. Also, if you want to know something more about this light, go ahead and put a comment below, and I'll be sure to get back with you as soon as possible. If there's anything that I missed about this light, or if you yourself have used this light and you have some more input on it, definitely be sure to post that below in the comments as well. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.